we're watching 3 episodes of season 2. It's not being like, this is a separate movie. So,
but it is, because we saw it in the theater, and it's called Dandadan Evil Eye. Whoosh. Full throttle.
Wow.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
We are talking about Dandadan Evil Eye.
Yay, it's another movie. It's another one of our favorite shows where the second season is so hyped that they're taking the first few episodes of that and they're putting it out in the theater so that we can see it.
Along with a recap of the first season.
Yes. Now, we did this with Solo Leveling Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually the second Dandadan movie because they showed the first 3 episodes of the original first season last year for Dandadan First Encounter. But now, Season 2.
Season 2.
Evil Eye. And because Season 1 was so great, obviously there's a lot of anticipation for Season 2.
Absolutely.
With all of these, as you've mentioned before, they sort of do a recap of the first season to sort of get us into this. So we watched Solo Leveling Reawakening. The recap of the first season was like a third of the movie.
Yeah.
And then we got the first 2 episodes of Season 2. When we saw Kaiju number 8... it was like the entire movie was just a recap of Season 1, which was very disappointing, with like a little extra kind of throwaway episode at the end. This one, however, I think does it right. This one, it was probably like a 10 to 15 minute recap of the first season. They got through all of the like quick major things and truncated the finale of Season 1. But they kind of got to the new stuff, I thought, fairly quickly.
They did. You know, this is definitely not one for people that have not seen Season 1.
Yeah.
It'll give you a complete refresher of everything from Season 1, but if you haven't seen Season 1, it'll feel very disjointed and stuff because it's just going over the main points of Season 1.
I agree.
But at the same time, you should watch Season 1 no matter what anyway.
It's great, yeah. So, I have to be honest, I loved this.
I did too.
I thought it
Absolutely.
was overall really, really great. There's one thing I didn't like, and we'll talk about at the end, but going into this like creepy onsen town was really interesting. I like developing Gigi as a character more. I thought where it ended was really cool in Season 2 with like Momo like in the onsen and these creepy guys coming after her, and Gigi and Okarun finding the hole with all the... what
Talisman? I don't know.
Yeah, all those papers. You know, we don't want to spoil too much, but essentially what we get is a very thrilling, stuck in an area film where you have our main characters dealing with some really bad people. There's some really dope action. There's this one fight scene in particular that Momo is in where it's like basically a Hong Kong martial arts scene.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's funny. It's great action. They just do it all in the perfect kind of like... kind of remind me of like Stephen Chow movies, you know? Like Shaolin Soccer, like...
It's funny. It reminded me a little bit more like Jackie Chan movies. So, yeah, I think it's somewhere in the middle between those. But, those Hong Kong action flicks. I think especially for me, I think the thing I took away most from this was really liking Gigi as a character more than I did in the first season.
Well, the thing is that in the first season, he was just sort of put in as a sort of almost opponent to Okarun, you know, someone who's there to sort of challenge for Momo's love, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, and it's the old friend, the childhood friend that's coming back, and he's taller, and he's more athletic.
Well, he's like a total Chad, with the exception of he's also kind of cringe. He's like, hey, you know?
Yeah. And Momo has no interest. No interest. Momo loves Okarun. Each of our characters, you know, in the first season sort of got an awakening, so to speak. You know, their powers sort of got amped up. And part of the great thing with Gigi is not only is he just a good character and he evolves in general in these first few episodes, he also gets an awakening of sorts, which, you know, I think throughout Season 2 will make him get to feel like more of a part of the group, because, you know, we've got now three characters and Grandma with powers, and of course Turbo Granny.
Right.
But Gigi, he was just there being like silly and like you said, like being ooh.
Yeah, I mean, Gigi does have like, this is kind of his movie. I mean, he gets this like really nice like heroic arc.
We're at his hometown.
Kind of.
We're visiting his house where he was living with his parents before he went to Momo.
A lot of the plot really surrounds him.
Yeah.
And this is really like very much about him, which I thought was really cool because it gives us more to chew on for this character than just comic relief.
Absolutely.
I thought it was really cool. I thought that the action was really cool. There's like an awesome like shonen like esque fight in the middle. It's scary. The bad guys are really scary. It's like every episode of Dandadan. It's like, it's funny, it's scary, it's weird and trippy. The stakes feel real. It's sad. You know, like that one amazing Ghost Woman episode from season 1.
The dancer.
Yeah, they have something similar to that, where it's like, you know, this like really tragic story of this ghost, and you know, and it's got all those great elements that make Dandadan really good. And you know, I think what's cool too about these movies now, unlike what they used to do with like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and stuff, they used to put out a movie that was really good. It was separate from the rest of the show, so it always...
A lot of them, they kind of weren't canon. Like they
were canon.
Yeah, and so they're not actually part of the timeline, you know? And so it always made it like, they were enjoyable, but they were awkward. Whereas like, you know, Naruto The Last.
Yeah.
That one actually, you know, felt like part of the series.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, you wanted to see them, but it also didn't feel consequential to see them, because it was like, they were just extra stuff, you know? And with these, ever since Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, because they are the show, it's just like a bigger, more exciting way to see the representation of the open arc of the new season.
Well, and with certain anime like Dandadan, like, the animation is so cool and so unique, and seeing it on the big screen makes it feel so much more special. Yeah. It's just great.
Oh man, there's this creepy family that are the antagonists in this season. I love the way they're animated because they're so freaky looking, and the whole time I was trying to figure out, like, are they human? Are they monsters?
Are they aliens?
Like,
are they ghosts?
Yeah, like, what are they? And like, well, they're so creepy, and I was getting kind of like Resident Evil 4 vibes from a lot of it, and it's cool because it's very contained, but it's also very big. They end up in a place that is massive and scary.
And honestly, where it ended, I'm just super excited for the rest of the season. Like, I can't wait. I wish the season were starting already so that I can watch.
That's the thing. So I would say, like, I give this movie like a 90 out of 100, and the reason it gets a 90 is because it ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And that is... It's annoying. I mean, there's no way to put it. It's annoying.
It is, but I think... I'm guessing that it ends on a cliffhanger because things are going to wrap up and going to open up a new mystery. You know?
Yeah, I just assumed that they ended on a cliffhanger because they're going to need 2 or 3 more episodes to wrap up the story. You know, it's like when we went to go see the last Spider-Verse movie and you were mad because it ended in the middle of the story in a cliffhanger and you had no idea.
That's the thing. I had no idea. This, I know, it's just the first 3 episodes of the season.
Yeah, but with Dandadan, like, what's cool about the show is they usually have, like, 3-episode mini arcs throughout the season, and I just assumed it would be like that. And so they'd be like, oh, wow, it's like you're going to see this big, exciting story, and it just ends. And it's so funny, too, because it cut, like... It's one thing to cut and then have, like, title crawl. They cut to, like, this, like, behind-the-scenes interviews with the directors, and it just happened, like, immediately after. What is happening?
I mean, you know, honestly, first off, I was kind of hoping that we'd get a hint of what the title sequence was going to be, what the new song would be.
That would have been cool.
So that would have been cool. But honestly... I can't say that jumping straight to that was necessarily a bad thing. I mean, do you remember Kaiju number 8? Like, there was a whole thing after, you know, it was a silly little thing, but they ran the credits and then it came after.
Yeah, but I feel like, once again, it's like, that was stupid, because, like, the only extra we got from Kaiju number 8 was that episode, so it should have come right after. It should have been, like, Card, and then the thing. This was, like, irritating. This is like going to an office party that you're told is open bar and getting there and finding out the first drink is open bar and everything else is paid.
Right.
That's what this was like. It was like I was like so into the movie, and then the huge thing happens, and then it's just like cut, and now we're talking to the directors, and I'm like, is there more movie after this? What's going on? And it was like 15 minutes of these interviews. And by the way, by themselves, great. I thought they were fun. I'm into that stuff. I've always liked special feature stuff. But I'm like, it was so abrupt.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, boom, story continues in, you know, July, season 2. Yeah. It was just like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, what?
You know, I totally get what you're saying. I'm going to stick to I'm happy to have an extra special feature, you know, like,
sure.
And, you know, I will bask in the joy of that.
I just think a thing should have an end, like a conclusion to the story. Is that too much to ask?
The thing is, there is a conclusion of sorts that happens.
Yeah.
And then then there is a cliffhanger for the more stuff that's to come.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, but I also think we're watching 3 episodes of season 2. It's not being like this is a separate movie. So,
but it is, because we saw it in the theater, and it's called Dandadan Evil Eye, and it's a separate movie.
It is, but it's not. It's still the first 3 episodes of season 2. It's giving us a preview of what's to come, and in a very exciting and large format way.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree on this, and that's okay. Yeah. Because I think that, overall, I had a really good time. Mm-hmm. I wasn't like the Kaiju number 8 movie that made me mad.
Yeah. Wasn't as excited as Solo Leveling.
Yeah, because once again, Solo Leveling, it ends in a place that feels like an end, and then we're going to continue. I think it's well worth it. If you loved season 1 of Dandadan, it's great to see on the big screen. The first 3 episodes are really, really good. It's really exciting, thrilling, awesome. Yeah. Well worth it.
Totally.
All right, guys. Well, let us know who your favorite character from Dandadan is. Mine is, of course, Turbo Granny, cat form.
I mean, how could it not be?
What other characters could there even possibly be other than that? But let us know in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.